Hey people, Indrid here, 3v3 Faction War. This is Arena of Ashes and Space Marines versus Tyranids Game 1. For the blue Space Marine team we have Commissar Yarrick rocking the Black Templars elite scheme as a Techmarine. Starts off range combat, puts out some really good damage, can also support with structures and repair and get a melee option. Alongside Topi is a force commander, very good offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. And rounding off this blue Space Marine team is Noisy as a Blood Angels elite scheme. Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration or a death company here for that Apothecary. For the Tyranid team we have Adila playing a Ravener Alpha tunneling commander that fights range combat by default, puts out some good damage, can also support a bit and has great mobility with those tunnels. Alongside Dark Riku as a Lictor Alpha melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt with some awesome offense and a bit of support too. And rounding off this red Tyranid team is Floid as a Hive Tyrant, very durable commander, walks through objects and cannot be suppressed on very good offense and support with a bit of disruption as well. Grants a basic synapse by default, this big guy. So here we have it. Some of you may be thinking why Space Marines are being featured again. It's because I'm trying something a little bit new with the Faction Wars 2015, at least to begin with, in that it's going to be winner stays on. Whoever wins their Faction War stays on to fight again. So since the Space Marines beat the Orcs last time out in 2015, they are now facing off against the Tyranids, and whoever wins this series of 3 games, best of 3, will go on to fight again. So the Space Marines are champions, as it were, at this moment, and we'll see how they do against the Tyranids. On an arena map, the first map is random, of course. The next map's chosen by the losers. Lictor Alpha harassing here. 1-to-1 cap. They got a bit of luck in the starting locations, I think, the Tyranids. The starting locations are random, by the way, if you don't play this game or weren't aware. The Ravener Alpha got the top position, so he can use these tunnels to travel up to the northeast and contest all this stuff. And the Space Marines did not get their Techmarine at the bottom, so he can't support the bottom with beacon and turret. Well, we can go down there and build some, but that will leave him a bit thin at the top, so you don't usually see that. You can quite easily swap positions on this map since the bases are so close together, but the players in this instance not doing so. Early pressure from the Tyranids, as you'd expect. 2 very, very strong factions in the Faction Wars historically. Both Space Marines and Tyranids have awesome inter-faction synergy. The Space Marines with their very, very powerful late game Land Raiders and Terminators and stuff. Tyranids with their awesome towers for mobility. They also have brood nests and hive nodes and shared synapse. Great stuff like that. Of course, want to lead an alliance. Does he get away though? Think he will. Space Marines doubling up on their Devastators. In fact, all 3 Space Marine players getting Devastators up with those heavy bolts, just trying to stem the tide. Spore Mines on the field for Adila. Spore Mines cannot use the tunnels, incidentally, so he's having to float them up here. Putting a lot of pressure on Yarrick early on. You kind of expect that, honestly. Nothing really to worry about at this very early stage for Space Marines. The fact that they took so much pressure in the first engagement. Tactical Marines getting crippled as they try to get into cover. They're taking a lot of damage. There's an Apothecary heal. These are Topi's Tactical Marines. Apothecary hanging back, as you can see, as you see him often doing early game, especially those first few engagements. Ouch, 2 Tactical Marines going down. There's a flesh hook on the Devastators. Dark Riku sending his Lictor Alpha forward. Those Tactical Marines bugging out a little bit with their retreat, holding up there. Devastator still getting harassed by this Lictor Alpha, and now he has those devastating feeder tendrils. Over 60 DPS power melee in tier 1 with a self-heal. Such a powerful weapon. Doesn't have a ranged sidearm, of course, but still very, very strong, especially against Marines in general. Warrior Brood losing a model, now in retreat. Hormogods also need to get out of there. These are Dark Rikus, and they do get their adrenal glands up, so he's going to want to get those guys into melee, and Lictor Alpha is pretty good at initiating that with his flesh hook. Flesh hook's one of the models towards him, and then Hormogods just swarm it and take it down, especially with those adrenal glands. As you can see, Yarrick taking the top, spreading out and capping, but this power, this contested power all the way in the northeast corner there is fully Tyranid right now with 2 generators on it. So they have 2 full gen farms and 2 more generators top, And as you can see, plus 64 power per minute they're getting in. Over 1 per second. Big power advantage for them early on. Raveners on the field for Floid. Devastators coming into play for Topi. They have their advanced targeting, gives them those vengeance rounds. Good damage to all targets with an area of effect, but you lose the suppression while the vengeance rounds are activated. 4-1-2, 4-5-6. Noisy with some assault marines now, so he's gone 1-1-1. Tactical marines, devastators, and assault marines. Assault marines losing a model there, but the apothecary now is capping. They need a way to break through this devastator line. Noisy getting some more devastators. Going to be 3 devastators bottom. Who needs a turret? Raveners from Adila. These guys are so awesome now, I think, with the Devourers. 22 piercing DPS. That is a hell of a lot. 66 piercing DPS from a single squad that can jump and disrupt and stuff. They aren't the toughest guys around. 300 hit points of regular infantry armor. They tend to get focused fight a lot. One of those squads, like Banshees and Assault Marines, Raveners get focused like crazy because they are power to reinforce and not that tough. Banshees just get focused because they're so freaking dangerous. 4-1-2, 4-4-5. This contested power all the way in the southwest is still red for the Tyranids, but the Space Marines have taken the VP for a 2-1. Brood Nest is up already. Awesome, awesome global for the Hive Tyrant. Grants a infield reinforcement point with a little bit of health regen for 100 red. It's not the toughest thing around with just 300 hit points, and Tyranids don't actually have a repair unit, so they can't repair it, though it will slowly regenerate health. Hive Tyrant gone for his improved synapse and warp field. Floyd loves this build with the venom cannon, and that improved synapse is granting all of these units the improved synapse, not just Floyd's. So it's really powerful at the bottom of the arena maps here. You might see pheromones also from Dark Riku, though maybe not, thanks to that Brood Nest being in the field. Big push by the Tyranids, pushing through the Space Marine lines. Even with those devastators there, these guys from Noisy were turned around to try and force off Riku's flanking army. As you can see, those warriors in retreat there. Crippling poison on the assault marines. Apothecary has gone down. Lictor Alpha causing so many problems. He's level 3 already with his feeder tendrils, and Adila and Riku are already level 2. Floyd is actually floating a hell of a lot here. Over 200 power float in tier 1 is not good. That's a really, really big float. Force Commander's also down. Oh, all 3 are down in fact. So it's probably Yarrick who's going to want to purchase his revive. He has a lot of wreck, and then he can go and he's purchased it, as you can see. He'll go and revive these 2 and get a bunch of XP. Turret is up top incidentally from Yarrick. Although it is a Raven Alpha, so he could build a tunnel there and go after it, which I assume is what he's going to do. The turret, the tunnel I should say, does have a fairly long cooldown. I'm not sure when he used it last, 60 or 70 seconds I believe. Oh, he's building a Hive node. We'll see how this does. Grants huge amount of range damage resistance. Does it also grant suppression resistance? Because these termagants are not getting suppressed here. It also lowers your outgoing range damage though, so as you can see, I'm not doing a lot of damage to the turret here. It seems to grant suppression resistance also, because these guys are not getting suppressed whatsoever. Is it suppression immunity? They still didn't get suppressed. That was a lot of fire they took. Oh, look at this. Yarrick going for a melee Techmarine. I really do love the melee Techmarine. He's got the Axodum, Canicum, Bionics, and Refractor Field. That guy's going to be a pain in the arse for the Tyranids up there. That Refractor Field is so efficient. It's the most efficient shield in the game, I believe, in terms of energy to, or health damage to energy conversion. Though it does not grant him knockdown immunity, which all of the other shields in the game do, I believe. 378, 393 is a 2-to-1 cap for the Tyranids. I was going to say early in tier 2, but Adila is actually already tier 3. If he can keep his bleed to a minimum, especially the Raveners, he could have a monstrous creature or Doom of Manitai up soon. Or should I say Neurothroat, which is going to be renamed to in the next build. It's not renamed in this build that we're using now, but I should probably get used to calling it a Neurothroat. Lictor Alpha causing so many problems. Has the deadly jump now. This thing actually, it says jump and knock back surrounding units, but it actually does damage as well when he lands on them, I believe. Doesn't tell me on the tooltip though. 346, 393. As you can see, time and time again, the Lictor Alpha pushing forward, holding up entire armies while everything just bashes the crap out of the gens. Now the Hive Tyrant does have his awesome Venom Cannon effective versus all targets, though it does have reduced accuracy versus infantry or small targets such as infantry. Does have area of effect though, which does make up for it. 331, 393. It's a really powerful ranged weapon. Was buffed in Elite, I believe, compared to Retail. Years and years ago, probably by now. Gormagont's forced off, trying to sneak in by Adila. Almost made it, couldn't get around this cover item though. 321, 393. See, if they had Synapse there, they could have jumped over that rock and got to them. Oh, Purification Vials from the Apothecary. Where is he? Oh, he's in retreat. Wow, he's got 190 Power Axe, Combat Stims, and Purification Vials. Zone Thrope up for Riku. Floid, surprisingly for me, going for Gene Stealers. I would have just get 2 Zone Thropes each at the bottom. With 4 Zone Thropes, I think you're pretty much one-shotting if you all fire on a devastated Marine squad. Give them no time to react, just wipe them out. As you can see, Riku's gone tier 3 and Floyd gets Gene Stealers and then a Zone Thrope. He's going to be relying on the improved synapse of the Hive Tyrant to support those Gene Stealers. He doesn't have any specialized melee synapse, but does Riku have it? Yes, he does. And Floyd's Gene Stealers will benefit from Riku's melee synapse Adrenal Gland Warrior Brood, if they're close enough, of course. Here comes Floyd's Zone Thrope. Artillery unit, a very, very good one. Incredibly cost effective in what they give you. Just 400 rep, 40 power. Tyranids have such a power like tier 2. Lictor Alpha jumping in. Wow, disrupting 3 units or 2 units and a commander there. Taking a lot of damage, gets his flesh hook off and gets away, but he has initiated very, very well. That's my problem with the Lictor Alpha in terms of balance. I would think he'd be a sneaky assassin type character, but he's so good at initiation with his leap and his flesh hook, and he's not that weak. I mean, he's got that infiltration, he's got almost 900 hit points at level 4, as you can see, with the deadly jump. He can lead the line very well for a sneaky assassin hero. Gene Stealers getting into retreat path. Good play from Floyd. Can he finish off these Devastators? No, he can't. Wow, their melee resist really helping them out there. Got melee resist relatively recently alongside Havoc's. Oh, look at this though. Thunderhammer Force Commander, who is bad news for any melee unit in the game. Gene Stealers won't like to see him. Armor of Alacrity, as you can see, sprinting around. And Iron Halo. What's going on top though? We have a Carnifex from Adila. Las Cannon to meet, and that's the thing about this map. Forgot to mention this earlier, but the top of Arena is actually really bad for Carnifexes, because look at the line of sight you have as a Las Cannon. There's pretty much absolutely no way for the Carnifex to approach this VP without getting shot at by stuff. Unless you, of course, can tie up the Las Cannon, which Adila's not doing right now. He's shooting up the Techmarine. He also has that turret, so even if he does jump something in there or something, that's going to come back away to the safety of the turret. And Carnifex backed away. Is forced off by a single Las Cannon there. 274, 332. Massive line of sight advantage at the top of Arena there. That Yarrick used well. Techmarine doing well. Halfway through level 4. Force Commander on his way to level 4. Level 4, yes. And Apothecary on his way to level 3. Apothecary's XP could fly up very, very quickly though if he lands a good Purification Vials. 274, 332. Librarian on the field for Sir Topi. Maybe tells you that he wants to get Assault Terminators up in tier 3. Getting his Librarian out early to level this guy up. Librarian actually benefits hugely from leveling up. Down go to Ravener Brood from Floyd. The Librarian, I think he gets a massive energy increase at level 4. A disproportionately large energy increase. It's not a linear path. So if he can get this guy to level 4, he can fire up abilities at will pretty much with the amount of energy he has. Zone Thrope taking shots. Haven't seen them really give something, have we, those Zone Thropes? There's 2 of them. There's purification vials from the Apothecary going into combat with Hormigons now, and everything in the world shooting at them. Tactical Marines with Sergeant at level 2. Apothecary is forced off, but he does level to 3, so now he has that level 3 heal. His heal getting better every 2 levels. There's a smite going off. Librarian lives. Lictor Alpha jumping in again, doing so much work with that jump. Well, he needs to be backed up here, and here comes the rest of them. And they do have a Kapiri Tower granting that sight radius and speed boost. 274, 315 with a 1-to-1 cap. Yarrick taking back the contested power with 3 gens on it. Here's that Carnifex again, and now Adila has a tier 3 Lictor. These guys are nuts. It can infiltrate for free, meaning that they don't drain energy while they infiltrate, can leap and flesh hook and have heavy melee. And they're a detector, as you see there. Give you so much. You can only get one of them at a time. But I assume we're going to see the Lictor jump on this Devastator, which is then going to be shot to pieces by the turret. Throw a grenade on the tunnel there. Here comes that Techmarine, who's level 5, kicking off bottom. Is it? Yes, it is. Assault Marines jumping in. Zoanthropes taking shots at the Tactical Marines who are on capping duty. Those guys capping 50% faster than normal. This Broodnest is still here. Is this the same one? Oh, Doom of Manatai from Floid, or Neurothrope, whatever. Gets a pretty good Cataclysm. That's that knockback and damage over time thing you just saw there. We might see double Neurothropes from Riku and Floid at some point, since that Paroxysm is so powerful against heavy and super heavy infantry. But it's the Swarm Lord that Riku goes for. Lictor, that's the tier 3 Lictor from Adila, retreating out. Looks like he did jump into the turret and had Sternguard veterans waiting there with Hellfire rounds loaded in also. Look how much damage this Carnifex has taken. Razorback for Yarrick. Yarrick is tier 3, could drop a Venerable Dreadnought soon. A Zoanthrope on the way for Adila, who has a lot of red, so he could drop his nuke up there and push alongside it, but he probably wants his Carnifex healed up. Yeah, so you see him backing off here. Just wants to hold his VP and heal up his Carnifex. Here's the Swarm Lord from Riku. Super unit for Tyranids. Heavy melee combat monster with a speed synapse and a reinforcement synapse. Whirlwind Hunter Killer Missile. Las Cannon going in. They're playing it well so far, the Space Marines. Backing off, taking shots at that Swarm Lord. Tactical Marines are going to get tied up though. Las Cannon continues to get shots. Look at the explosions from the Whirlwind. Synapse bombs going off. Swarm Lord continues to take those Las Cannon hits. There is the Paroxysm absolutely wrecking these Devastators, as you can see. Wow. I think it does 1.5% damage per second of the unit's health, but it does extra to heavy and super heavy since they are weak against psychic attacks for some reason. I'm not sure how they justify psychic attacks doing more damage to heavily armored units, but there you go. 247, 253. I guess it's largely artificial inflation, so that it's dangerous versus these heavy units. Genestealer's backing away under the health regen synapse of the Zoanthrope. Look at the top. Yarrick taking it, dropping a Venerable Dreadnought. There's the Zoanthrope's focus warp blast to slow it down and do a bit of damage. Very little bit of damage though. Look at that. And Las Cannon being brought up. Got the Razorback there to reinforce his Sternguard. He's got a really nice build going here. Yarrick, Adila finding it difficult to penetrate for the time being. Very surprised that we haven't seen a tunnel back here somewhere to go after that turret. Is that the same turret? I think it is. That turret has been so good for Adila. For Yarrick, I should say. Might see Yarrick get terminated, but that is a little bit risky at the top, since it's a long walk back to his base. Well, not super long, but a little bit of distance, and he could be chased down by something since Terminators cannot retreat. We'll see. Maybe he'll just get a Predator tank up to shoot down that Carnifex. Assault Marines jumping in. Death Company Assault Marines from Noisy, level 3, but they jump into infiltrated Genestealers, which is not good for them. Genestealers are a hugely powerful melee squad, and they're really good at fighting other melee squads. They're kind of a melee superiority unit. huge amount of melee skill, and with the running claws they actually have heavy melee damage that will damage all targets. 241, 224. Apothecary level 5 now, throwing his purification vials. Noisy in general, very good at using aerial denial abilities. Uses that holy pyre with his Inquisitor very well. Scouts at level 4 for Topi with a sniper rifle. Dark Riku floating quite a lot of resources, but once I assume 650 reps we can get a Carnifex up. Maybe I think you should get a Doom of Malatai though, or Neurothrope, whatever, which I think is 500 125 now. Gene Stealers, are they capping? No, it's the Hive Tyrant that's capping. Gene Stealers just waiting around, taking shots. Trying to formation. I assume that was from Riku, but not entirely sure. Riku has a Carnifex on the way. He might want the Venom Cannon so he can aggressively push against those double whirlwinds, because they are really annoying from Noisy up there. That's Topi's Force Commander down. Venerable Dreadnought wrecking faces has the Dark Age of Technology. 2050 hit points at level 1 with melee resist. This is a monstrous walker, even compared to the Thornback Carnifex, as you can see, with 1650. 241, 183. This thing can level up. I think it gets pretty close to 3,000 hit points ish. Like 2,700 or something, I think, at level 4. Maybe we'll see him level. Yarrick floating tons of resources. Does he want a Land Raider? Here's Riku's Swarmlord going top. Another Carnifex on the way for Adila. You might see him push against the turret here. Las Cannon has been forced off. Where is it? Oh, it's inside the Razorback, I believe. 241, 164, so it's not forced off. You can get it out right here and set up and take some shots. Venerable Dreadnought backing away. As you can see, not taking a lot of damage from the Swarmlord and the Carnifex, since it has that melee resist. So the Carnifex goes right for the Las Cannon. Swarmlord taking down the turret very, very quickly. Look how quickly the Swarmlord attacks. Then down goes the turret. Need to be careful though, because there's a bunch of stuff coming here. Here comes Noisy to support with double whirlwinds and melter bomb assault marines. I assume he's used the hunter killer missiles already on that Carnifex. 241, 148. Carnifex now backing away. Is it going to get away though? Have they used the melter bomb already? I don't think they have. Apothecary's there to support. Las Cannon for Topi gets caught here. Gonna go down surely. Oh no, Lictor in retreat gets disrupted by the whirlwind all the way from over there and gets away. Does that Las Cannon Devastator. Quick flesh hook on the scouts. I assume that was the sergeant, was it? I don't think it was. 226, 148. Here's Adila's second Carnifex. Does not have an upgrade though. Actually doesn't have the requisition to get another upgrade for his Carnifex. He's got a full roster here. This Venerable Dreadnought has been awesome. Now forcing off the Thornback. 215, 148. Bottom is very red and very Tyranid. Look at that. Doom Malantite, double Zone Thropes, double Carnifexes guarding it. 210, 148. Space Marines going full top for now, in a way. Tyranids need to be careful here. Space Marines in a massive blob like this are so dangerous. There's a front formation. Will it one-shot the Devastators? Nope, they retreat in time. Not sure if it would have anyway. I assume it would have. 204, 148. Those whirlwinds have been amazing. We have double Razorbacks as well. Who would have called that? Force one at level 5. Doesn't really want to fight a Swarmlord, especially with a power weapon. And he gets inside the Razorback to escape. Tier 3 Lictor for Adila. Flesh hooks the Las Cannon, nicely done. Can he take out a model? Oh, he's getting disrupted by the whirlwinds. They have been awesome. Swarmlord using his Leech Essence, I believe it's called, to drain health from surrounding enemies. No enemies in range though, since it can't drain health from the Dreadnought. 190, 148. Focus Warp Blast on the Dreadnought. Is he going to go down here? No, charges away, nicely done. saving the charge for a defensive maneuver rather than charging into combat. And the Venerable Dreadnought lives, almost level 2. Venom Cannon Pontifex for Adila doing work. But these las cannons are just really putting a stop to the Tyranid charges, aren't they? There's a front formation. I think that was Adila, because he had absolutely tons of red. Almost has enough for another one once it's off cooldown. Tyranids do have the new without number, which is pretty damn powerful. Oh, is this the end of the Razorback? Carnifex, no, leaves it be. Couldn't see it maybe. I don't think he could see that it was so low on health. Without number, as I was saying, now spawns upgraded Hormagaunts and Termagants. And I think it's 400 red, no wreck. So that could be very telling late game if they can spawn them on one of these top VPs to cap it or decap it or whatever. Here comes the Lictor Alpha, level 7 of Riku. How much damage is this guy doing now with these feeder tendrils? That is scary. Level 2 Raven Alpha with Cross to Devour. I have a level 4 Hive Tyrant with that very dangerous Venom Cannon. Yarrick's Techmarine has been awesome, almost level 7 with that melee build. Look at that, 155 energy to power that powerful Refractor Field. So Topi's full spawn at level 5, and that Apothecary, wow, he shot up to level 7. Now has his level 7 heal. Orbital catching a single Gene Stealer and the Hive Tyrant. Boom. Here's a Predator tank from Noisy now with the extra armor upgrade. 2 Swarm Lords here. Was not expecting that. Was expecting 2 Neurophobes or Doom Manatize, whatever we're calling them these days. A Venom Cannon Carnifex for Riku making its way bottom. Swarm Lords are leading the lines very well though. Taking a lot of damage, Riku's one at least, which came out much earlier. 181, 114. Single cap for the Space Marines. Look at the float from Yarrick. He could buy anything. He could literally get anything. Is he waiting for another Venerable? Can you have 2 Venerable Dreadnoughts at the same time? I'm not even sure if you can. 181, 110. Scout squad gonna go down. These guys level 4. Yes, down they go. That's a big loss. Topi's macro letting him down a little bit there. He does have a level 3 librarian up to over 1,000 hit points and 260 energy. 174, 110. Was that the Techmarine down? Yes, almost level 7, but he's down trying to cap there, it looks like. Termagants hanging around. Raven Alpha hanging around. Here is a level 2 Venerable Dreadnought. 22, 25 hit points at level 2 with the Dark Age of Technology. It is quite an expensive upgrade for the Venerable. I believe it's 100 rec 50 power, which is a pretty big dump Yarrick decides to go for. Terminators is gone for the Heavy Flamer. Oh, and that's why Adila's lost all of his Carnifexes. I think he had at least 2, didn't he? Wow, it's big losses. Has another las cannon, does Yarrick. Doom Malachite on the way for Riku. Floid still has his one. These guys cannot level up. Oh, look at that. Nicely hit Bioplasma from the Venom Cannon Carnifex. Each of the upgraded Carnifexes get an ability to fall back, can charge and spawn Rippers. The Barbarian can spawn Spore Mines. And the Venom Cannon, as you saw there, with the Bioplasma. Taking a lot of damage now though. Double Hunter Killers, I think, and a las cannon and a Predator tank, which is now backing away from these Gene Stealers. Gene Stealers so dangerous, level 2, but they are coming right into the Space Marine lines and they get absolutely wrecked. What was that? That was a special attack from the Force Commander, wrecking the entire squad there. Floyd taking his eye off them. 130, 110. That's the Cataclysm. Look at the las cannons and plasma cannons and whirlwinds. Massive gun line just off this plateau here, making life difficult for Tyranids, but they do take the bottom. 130, 104. And Adila take and hold his VP now. He is really up against it. Yarrick has a full roster, including a level 2 Venerable, level 2 Stern Guard, and Terminators. Not to mention this Techmarine, which is back on his feet, level 7, repairing the Dreadnought there. Orbital doesn't really do a lot, although it did force off a bunch of stuff, I suppose. Doesn't do a lot in terms of killing. Stern Guard getting a bit low. Tyranid is doing well bottom, but Adila needs help top. Someone needs to go top. Riku being the middle player would be the obvious choice, especially his sneaky Lictor Alpha. Looks like he is going top now, 130.83. So 1-1 cap. Doom of Malachite on the field for Adila now. So there's 3, 1 from each player. There's that paroxysm, making the Tactical Marines flee in terror. Space Marines have pulled back their line, as you can see. Can they push bottom? Will they bother to push bottom, or are they just going to go top? Here comes Riku with Termagants and Lictor Alpha. His Doom Malachite still bottom though. His Swarm Lord is running back to base to heal up. Here comes that Venerable charging in, going after the Doom of Malachite. This doesn't have its shield anymore, of course. It doesn't want to fight a Venerable Dreadnought. His Zone Throats actually can't fight in melee combat at all, which is both good and bad. Obviously, they can't damage anything in melee combat, but they also can't be tied up. They will still fire their psychic basic attack, even if you're smacking it in melee combat, which doesn't usually happen, since when something is in melee combat with a Zone Throat, it runs the hell away. Zone Throat on the way for Adila now. Carnifex on the way for Dark Riku. More scouts for Topi for repair support, I imagine. 60.83 is a double cap for the Tyranids. Can they hold on here? They have blue team's natural, but the Force Commander's taking it back. Looks like Yarrick dropped a Tactical Marine squad, yes, and they are in retreat here. Getting a Flamer, in fact. How often do you see a Tactical Marine Flamer purchased in Tier 3? Not very often, I would think. Tier 3 Lictor going against Terminators with their Power Fists and doing a good job. Venerable Dreadnought almost level 3. Should get around 2400 hit points for that. I think it's 2471 he gets. Brood Nest up here. Oh, Floid dropped the without number Termagants and Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts have already been wiped out, but Termagants are reinforcing off that Brood Nest, which does go down. And now Termagants will be wiped out, having achieved very little apart from feeding red to the Space Marine players, pretty much. There's a 2-1 for Space Marines, and it's so difficult to push up these stairs on the top of arena, and of course it takes longer to go around this way. Venerable Dreadnought wrecking faces is level 3 with 2417 hit points. Tying up the Venom Cannon. Oh, he tried to charge away there, I think, but got blocked by the Carnifex. Now he tries to walk away. Should get away. There's the global repair from the Techmarine. Try and help it out. Does the Librarian have... No, he doesn't have his Force Staff. I was going to say, Force Barrier would be pretty damn useful in a faction war if there's 2 Librarians to use it. One after the other, perhaps. Now that it's firing Fegate. Oh, the Dreadnought is going to go down here. There is Stoicism, which I've been pronouncing incorrectly for quite a while. Sorry about that. 45-20. Down goes the Venerable Dreadnought. Swarmlord might also go down though, taking shots from a Predator tank, which decides not to chase. 45-15. What's going on bottom? There's a Paroxysm on a Apothecary is now level 8. Looks like Floyd drops some more warriors down here to contest his VP, but they are wiped out. Apothecary is going to cap, and there's a single cap for Space Marines. They're going to take the first game here. So close now. 45-0 is the end. There it is. That was a beacon end game. Didn't even see this thing. Awesome faction war. Techmarine was level 8. Force Commander, wow, shot up to level 9. Level 5 the last time I looked at him. Apothecary also level 8. Raven Alpha level 3 had the Regenerate on the way. Lictor Alpha level 7 was down at the end also. Hive Tyrant level 6. So a strong start from the Tyranids, but the Space Marines came back roaring. Yarrick did very well at the top with his melee Techmarine. And that las cannon was just devastating with the amount of line of sight it had at the top here. Maybe he should have gone straight for the Lictor Adila first. But hey, who would turn down a Carnifex when they could get one that early? And there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in Game 2.